you guys for being here. I haven't seen you guys for a few days, so I'm excited to get on and spend some time with you all, talk about some of this stuff. And I am very excited because Jen Lou's going to be with us. I know so many of you guys have asked, so I'm going to bring her right up. But first, let me say hello to you. Hey, Tony. Oh, hey, Preschool Granny, West Virginia Jules. Hey, Adrienne. I'm so happy that you're here too. I missed you guys too. Hey, Shay Benet, MK, Nadie, K-Braze, Rainbow Mom, Sexy Wild Thing, McLovin, freaking Papa, Elvis Claus, Mayla's mom, Harlot, good to see you. Hey, Blue Petunias, thank you. Hey, Mia. Hey, Kathy, Tess, other Kathy, happy to see you guys. Anybody that I missed? Hey, Music City Mom, Carol, thank you guys for being here. Hey, Amber. Hey, Humanimal. Okay, so let me go ahead and just bring Jen up because I haven't talked to you for a while. Jen.
Allie, hi, babe. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am good.
I am excited to hear your voice. We should have
Aww.
It's been so
I know. It's been a long time, too long, really.
I know.
I needed to take time for little mini Bendy. She was here, and my nephew was here, and we had the best time ever. And they were here for spring break. So we all know how spring break is. So there was morning time and they would be asleep because I still get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they were out doing their thing or whatever the night before. But, and I was working on the documentary. Then I showed it to Minnie Bendy and she had many, many suggestions. So I was like, okay. So I took that and I was reworking it. And then I did something and I don't even know what I did. And I lost part of it. And then I decided, oh, well, since I'm so far behind and I've clearly been promising this documentary to come out for, 7 years. Hey, I know what let's do. Let's learn After Effects. This is as good a time as any. So, yeah, but it will listen, you guys, I know if I were you all, I would be so irritated and frustrated with me. And the fact that you guys are always so patient, I greatly appreciate it. But let me just tell you this. I told you that the first part would be good, right? I said, you guys are going to like it. I'm not going to put it out until it's right. And you said it was good. So this one, my goal is for it to be better. It's definitely longer because we're really in the meat and the potatoes of all the things, right? So it's going to be longer. So it's going to take a little longer. But I promise you that it is worth the wait and it will not be, I'm not going to give you guys any, lowbrow Wish brand documentary. You're going to get the full Jen Lou treatment. So
yeah, I was looking today actually when you mentioned it, and I went and I grabbed your channel link. If anybody isn't subscribed, her channel's in the description, but we will drop it during the live too. But when I went to get it, I saw the last one is doing really well, and I think this one's going to do even better. I think it's really exciting to see. Because I know you put in a ton of work into that,
Yeah,
so
it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Plus, there are certain effects that you just can't create through Canva. There's a lot that you can, but there's just some stuff you cannot do. And so I was like, there's some things I wanted to do and they're only on After Effects. And I've had a subscription to After Effects since December. And I was like, I can't be wasting it. And let me tell you something, After Effects, well, I have the Creative Cloud, so it comes with a bunch of stuff, but I was like, maybe I don't need After Effects, maybe blah, blah, blah. I'm going to cancel my subscription. Don't do that. No. Because if you end your subscription early, they're like, okay, well, that's fine. You can go ahead and end it, but you're going to have to pay us to do that. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'll just keep it and I'll make myself learn. And so, yeah, I've been learning.
Well, I can't wait to see what you come up with. And Shay Benet, thank you so much. Welcome to the new members. Thank you, Shay. Hey, Callie. Hey, Jonesin. Cutie Pie, you guys that are coming in. I'm so happy to see you guys. Well, I haven't been on much either. But, I have covered this case pretty much every step along the way. And I know that you've been following it. So I thought I have a little clip that I want to play for you from Court TV that they put out before the press conference. And then I thought we could watch the press conference. And I just want to get your thoughts on some of the things that were said and kind of go from there. What do you think?
Absolutely. I'm down for whatever. You know me, I'm flexible.
Flexible, yes, which I can't wait for us to get back into the calls. I mean, I
Yes.
never thought I would I don't miss Tisha, don't get me wrong, but I just love, like, when we get to hang out. And it's true crime, but it's not. It's more of like a psychological study into this person who we know committed a crime. But it's a lot like, I don't know, I guess because we're not talking about the details of the crime, it's just easier. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you can just hang out and kind of laugh and not be as, I don't know, it's not as devastating as some of the other stuff we talk about. Hey,
Well,
Dee.
I think it's because we're not talking. We know we're fully aware of what she did, and it was gruesome and it was horrendous. It's awful. She's an evil, evil, evil monster. But when we're playing the phone calls, we're not actually talking about the crime. We're talking more about the outlandish, ridiculous, extra AF
Yeah.
behavior that she exhibits while awaiting trial and the things that she tells people and how a lie just will roll off of her tongue. And they're not like easy lies. Like it's not like she's saying somebody's cooking is good when it was really gross, right? It's not like she's saying, "Oh yeah, that tasted fantastic," when it tasted like butt. Okay. These are very complex lies when as deplorable and despicable as what she did and the truth are, the truth would actually would be easier for her to say,
Yeah.
than this, you know.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, but it is pretty, like, interesting and entertaining to, like, get into the mind of her, you
She's
know?
a lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lunatic. She is, I would imagine if this kind of stuff, and it might be now, was available back in the day with like Diane Downs. I would imagine that Diane Downs's jail calls sound very similar to this. Ludicrous. Of course, to be fair, Diane Downs well, no, she was in jail while she was awaiting trial. So, yeah, they would probably be, as outlandish, because she's deluded, but not deluded, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah. Woofy, your new name, Woofy knows what you did last spring.
Oh my God.
You're so silly.
Oh,
Oh,
Woofy.
hey, Goldie, we are not talking about Sebastian right now. We're just going to talk about this press conference today. I know there was not really anything new, but there was a little bit. And plus, I haven't got to talk to you about the case at all. So I just, I want to talk to you in general about it. But okay, let me just pull up first what I want to start with, because Court TV kind of surprised me with this. And she's pretty much straight up calling mom out. Now, we're going to watch the press conference, but we did hear today that mom is cooperating.
I mean, what choice does she have?
Right. But I mean, he's not. So she's at least answering questions and stuff.
Yeah, because he's sitting in jail. So no,
Yeah.
of course of course he's not going to cooperate. Yeah, let me hear all this, because I have to say, yes, I have been following this, but I'll tell you, who I've been following it through is you, Allie. So,
Well, I love that. But yeah, and me and Jen have been talking some about it privately, because we share this case files email, and tried to put in a request to try to get the 911 call, which they got back to me, and I have to put it in somewhere else, which I don't think that we'll get it anyways. But anything like that I would want to share with you anyway. So I figure, why not use it in our little group thing? But
I'll help you, because I think that the one thing that you're asking for, maybe not, but the other thing I think you would get it if it exists, and I will help you get it.
oh, yes. Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Remember,
All right.
I'm a resident of these Floridas.
Yes. Jones and those involved, they did say that. And I've seen a lot of people picking that up. Okay, so let's just watch this clip, and then I'll get your thoughts, and then we'll watch the press conference, okay?
Okie dokie, artichoke.
Okay.
Who murdered Madeline Soto? Was it that filthy creep, Stephan Stearns? The defendant accused of a slew of child abuse crimes that was dating Madeline's mother. Was it him? Was it Stearns, the man police say had child pornography on his phone? Was it the man police say had been sexually abusing 13-year-old Madeline since she was 11? And if so, if it was him, how did he kill her? My friends, we may not have to wait long for those answers, because today at 2 p.m., the police in Kissimmee, Florida will be holding a press conference to announce an update to everyone who wants to see justice for beautiful Madeline. And I'll tell you what I'm hoping gets announced at the press conference. Based on the case evidence that I've seen, I'm hoping that sicko Stearns gets hit with homicide charges today. And I'm hoping that the indictment was done by a grand jury presentment so that prosecutors have the ability to pursue capital punishment if they're convinced that he was the one who murdered Madeline. I'm also hoping, based on the evidence that I've seen so far, that Mom, Jennifer Soto, gets hit with some charges too. Watching her interviews, my blood is boiling. This lady had a duty not only to protect her child, but also to be truthful when police spoke to her after her daughter suddenly vanished. I say pants on fire, Jennifer Soto. I wonder if police have found evidence of a cover-up with her. Her stories are inconsistent. They don't make sense. The details about not dropping Madeline off exactly at the school, but instead by the church next to the school. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. She said, we dropped her off. And then she also said that her filthy creep boyfriend, Stearns, was the one who dropped Madeline off alone. But police say the drop-off never happened because Madeline was already dead. So where did the homicide happen? Did it happen in the house? Did it happen behind closed doors where police say the sex abuse happened? That precious child deserved to live. And if her own mother knew what police say was going on with the sexual abuse carried out by her boyfriend, sicko Stearns, and did nothing to stop it, then Jennifer Soto has blood on her hands too.
Okay, so that is what I was talking about. I was very surprised to see Court TV taking such a stance on Mom. She's not been charged, right? And I understand why people have questions. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, she's not been charged yet. And that just shocked the shit out of me. This video, and it's they are getting more sensationalized. It's 100%. They all are. Banfield, Nancy Grace always does. But yeah, this was just such a strong stance. It was intense wording. What do you think, Jen?
I mean, okay, that segment, Julie's opening statements, has been on for a minute now, and she's kind of always been passionate, I'll say. But this one, bro, I mean, she's, this one was very impassioned, and I think that I think Court TV and Julie should be careful. And this is why. I understand the side eye. Believe me, I understand the side eye. But there's so much unknown out there that I feel like, particularly that, like News Nation, Court TV, they sort of snub their noses at the YouTube true crime community. And there are some of us, let's be honest, who deserve to have you deserve to be snubbed, right? But then there are those that don't deserve it, right? But I feel like this is something a little, if you're gonna poo-poo the YouTube true crime creators and the TikTok, although TikTok, man, that place is lawless. But if you're gonna poo-poo that, then you can't be doing really the same thing if you're gonna look your nose down at it. That's my problem.
Yes, it is the same thing because there are no facts. Like, I get why people are question Mom to a degree, but at the end of the day, I mean, I felt like, and we're going to watch it, but the press conference, they heavily, heavily focus there at the end on talk to your kids. If you think something is wrong, talk to them, ask the questions, make sure that you're aware of what's going on. It was almost like an underlying theme of maybe that's what happened here. And I don't know, that's just me speculating and coming to my own conclusions, but it's a very shocking stance. Humanimal says, it is shocking. Court TV was the last bastion on YouTube for proper coverage. Vinnie Politan has gone tabloid, so she is following suit. It's not right for news media. So Jen, before we watch the press conference, I wanted to show you, I marked, because I brought this up because Harlot put in the chat, I think this was happening way before she was 11. Well, I marked every date that is on the 60 charges and the 2 charges before that as well, except for there are several that are like in between March of 2022 and the day that she passed. So like that date I didn't put, but all the other ones that are definitive singular dates, I marked. So we have in 2019, there's 3 incidents. And she was only 8 at this time. Then we jumped to February of 2022. So there was at least no documented evidence of this taking place in between 2019 and 2022. And then 2022, we have 1 in February, 2 in March, 4 in July, 1 in August, and then we jump to June of 2023, and there's 5 more. So I don't know. Do you think do you see any patterns or anything that you notice, like kind of marking those?
Well, not so much I notice as like a pattern, but remember, these are only incidents that he recorded. That doesn't mean that nothing happened. They're just incidents that he recorded, because I find it when you have this level of, I mean, we're talking about 60. That is a 6 and a 0 charges. That's a lot. Yeah. For this kind of, it would it baffles me that there's like a couple of year gap.
Yeah.
Where there's nothing. So what that tells me is that there might be a couple year gap where he didn't record it, or he did not record it on a device that was, that are synced together. Do you know what I'm saying? Like when you get a new phone and you can choose what you import. So like I got a new to me iPhone, and I could choose what I brought over from my Android. And because none of the pictures that I had, like the screenshots and stuff, none of that is on my iPhone, but it is on my Android. So I'm thinking that potentially there was a phone switch in between there, and that there's images and videos, they just haven't found them yet. Right. Or they might not find them because maybe he destroyed the phone. I don't know.
Right. In the factory data reset, remember with Nicole Kessinger, they couldn't get everything off the phones with the
correct.
Preschool Granny says, you guys who took all the pics, he doesn't have 3 hands. Well, if anybody wants to see those charges, you can reach out to me and I can send you the paperwork. It is very graphic, but it describes him and her. His body parts are in these photos. So it was physical contact. I had seen someone in the chat kind of question if it was like online versus physical. It was physical contact. And this is this part right here just made me sick, Jen. This photo was taken the day after the first documented incident, which was June the 19th of 2019. She was 8 years old. I mean,
it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Allie knows this, and I'm just going to just briefly I plan to do a live on this with another content creator. We just have to work out scheduling. It's not going to be about Madeline or any other child specifically, because I think that Allie has done a fantastic job. ATS News has done it. You guys are all doing a great job covering those details. This is something else. And I think this is a conversation that needs to take place. And I'm hoping that if this live that I do reaches just one parent and resonates with them and prevents one child, just one, from ever being hurt, then I feel like we did what we set out to do. But I wanted you guys to be on the lookout for that. I'm thinking maybe this weekend, because that's, probably when it'll be the best time. But I think it's an important conversation, and I think you guys will learn something from it. Because I've been digging into situations like these. I've been tonight. That's why I haven't been live, because I've been working on other stuff, and that new Quiet on the Set has just come out, and now I've been following those allegations on the TikToks forever. And I'm going to sit down and watch that documentary tonight. But you know me, I got to sit down and I got to watch it. And then I got to think about it, and then I got to watch it again, because I want to, I think, like I said, Allie and ATS News and Chasing Truth, there's a ton of you really awesome true crime content creators that covered the missing children so well, that I don't think I need to add to that. You know what I mean? I think that maybe going about it in a different way and having a different type of conversation is what I want to do. So
I cannot wait for that. And I think it's really important. So
yeah.
Okay, before we get into the press conference, I didn't get to say thank you to B Crumbs. Thank you so much for gifting the 5 memberships, and then MK as well gifted 5. Thank you guys. I appreciate that so much, and I wanted to make sure to say that.
Hey, I can see that. I guess because I'm a mod. Yeah, I can see that Shay Benet, I have a starred thing back here. I can see that Shay Benet gifted 5 Alex Erickson memberships, and MK did, and so did B Crumb. I can see all those things. Oh, wow. Look at you, StreamYard. You're really stepping up. Oh, and I can see who the mods are and everything. Well, hell. How about that? Huh.
Okay, Bendy, I'm sorry. The kids needed my attention. They're
No.
outside.
Don't you ever apologize. Those kids come first.
They're wild and crazy. But okay. All right. So let's listen to this press conference. It's pretty short. And like I said, there's not a ton of new stuff, but there is some things that I want to talk to you about, and just kind of, I only listened once, so I might pick up some things listening again.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
During our forensic investigation, we uncovered disturbing evidence, graphic images, and videos depicting crimes being committed. It was during this examination that we learned we needed to act swiftly to remove the suspect, Stephan Stearns, from our streets. Despite the arrest, our investigation into her disappearance remained ongoing. We understand the importance of thoroughly exploring every lead and piece of evidence. The Kissimmee Police Department, along with other law enforcement agencies in Central Florida, continue their search for Madeline for the next several days following her disappearance, and we turn to the public for help. During this time, our investigators combed through a significant number of tips, and on March 1st, we received information placing Stearns' vehicle in a rural area of St. Cloud, where ultimately Madeline's body was discovered. We are all deeply saddened by the outcome of Madeline's disappearance. The Kissimmee Police Department continues to piece together the timeline leading up to the events that occurred. I want to address some questions we are receiving from the media in everyone's effort to keep the community up to date on this tragedy. At this time, Stearns is facing a total of 60 charges related to our investigation. This includes sexual battery, lewd and lascivious molestation, and unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child. These charges reflect the meticulous work of our law enforcement community. Our detectives also are working closely with the State's Attorney's Office for the 9th Judicial Circuit and the Medical Examiner's Office on the investigation. Death investigations are complex. Tasks like forensic analysis and thorough interviews are crucial and require careful attention. It is vital to address these misconceptions in the pursuit of justice while preserving the integrity to the case. During an investigation such as this one, we gather additional information from individuals close to the deceased. Each person interviewed is treated as involved, proven otherwise. This is a standard protocol to ensure all the facts are uncovered.
Okay, so let me just pause for a moment because I think, I want to acknowledge what she just said.
Right.
It's standard protocol. So it's every case, not just this one, but, every person that is close to Madeline is technically involved until they prove otherwise.
Right.
So, and let me ask you something, and someone to put this in chat, and I have to agree that they have a point here, but I think it was Cookie Mom. She said, this was a waste of time. Why did they even do this? And I want to get your opinion on that, because for me, I'm like, you didn't really bring out anything new. There were a couple things that I think are worth discussing, but couldn't a press release not have sufficed? Is it the pressure that's getting to him? I mean, what was the point? What do you think their goal was here?
I think that they have probably been inundated with requests from media, like she said, with questions. I know for me, I was curious how they arrived at Madeline's location, how that came about. That was explained. And I think they're trying to, as much as you can in a case like this, reassure the public that they are doing a meticulous job. All of the I's are going to be dotted. All of the T's are going to be crossed. And I actually think the reason that they did this and were so, because this isn't, she's not just speaking like I'm speaking right now, whatever thoughts come into my brain, they come out of my mouth. No. This was a coordinated effort. This was something that was written. She read it, and it was probably written multiple times, read it multiple times, all of those things. And it's not so much what exactly was said that hit me. It's what wasn't said and what charges there aren't. And related to the charges that are already that he's already been charged with. And one thing that I noticed is there is no distribution charge. And I'm curious about that, because somebody in another chat, I can't remember if it was Law and Crime or Court TV or whatever, but made the point of, could he be being investigated as being part of a ring? And it's entirely possible. I don't, so they're, when they find things like this, the most important thing, and that's how she put it, is to get him off of the street so he cannot do this to another child, right?
Right.
But the investigation isn't going to stop. Just because we know that there are 60 items that are related to Madeline. We don't know what else they may or may not have found on that phone that may or may not be Madeline. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they're probably really looking into him. And I will also say that as far as waiting for the autopsy, okay, Madeline's case is extremely important. And unfortunately, she's not the only case that's going through the medical examiner's office at this time. And there are things that take a long time to come back that have to be sent out, things like that. There's a lot of paper. There's a lot of moving parts to an autopsy that are required. And so I think they're waiting on results of stuff. So I think they don't want to give an incomplete report. I mean, rest assured, law enforcement knows, but I don't think they're going to be announcing anything until they have all of their ducks in a row. They're being very, very careful with this case. And I think there's a reason for that.
Right. And Jade had a comment I wanted to mention. She says, in case you didn't know, Florida has a death penalty for sex crimes committed against a child, depending on the severity of the crime. And I talked about that the other day. It is really interesting. So they already haven't, she said, and we'll keep listening, but he's not going anywhere.
No, he's not going anywhere.
But as far as your point of how they found her, I saw this, and I don't, this is just from Facebook, right? But this was kind of interesting. So I showed it before, but in case anybody didn't see it, or if you didn't, I don't know. It says Florida law enforcement was able to locate Madeline. It wasn't by accident. There was a tip. Someone called in. So after their first press conference, this person, they wrote update. I gave the pictures to Osceola. I don't know how to say that right, but
you're saying it right, Osceola.
Okay. To law enforcement as they started their search, and they found her where I said I saw him. Crime Online told me I did not have enough information. Crimeline told me I did not have enough information, but Osceola jumped right to action. I saw him around 1:20 p.m. on Monday on Old Hickory Tree pull up over a roundabout that has a cargo shipping container. He was in on the right-hand side heading towards Harmony. He was wearing a green light brown hat backwards. I didn't see anyone else in the vehicle. He was outside the car at the back left tire with a tire iron. Looked like he was changing it, but couldn't say for sure. And this is like right in the area. These are the pictures this person took, but this is right in this, in the same area where she was. So I think that the public has, helped them at least some. And they said, he says here, of course, once Crimeline said what they said, I instantly drove here and took pictures because there is not an exact address to give them. I got lucky the search team had just started on my way back, so I was able to pull over and give them the pictures.
Wow. I mean, this is exactly what should be happening, right? You see something and you report it. And this person went the extra mile because it is such a remote location and not exact address, that they took pictures, that's how it should happen. That's how it should happen.
Yep, I completely agree. Oh, Alana, thank you. I think the goal was to let everyone know they are taking their time for this investigation. They could be keeping details from public for certain reasons. Thank you, Alana. And then Shmita, thank you for being a member for 11 months. Good to see you.
Hello, Shmita.
Okay. All right. You ready to keep listening?
Yes, babe, I am.
Okay. I'm just so happy you're here, Benny.
I'm happy to be here, babe.
During our investigation, we have interviewed many individuals. Each interview has been vital to our understanding of the case. We are reviewing all of the information we received and are following up on every lead. Attention to detail and the diligence are the most important aspects of this investigation. We are committed to transparency and will provide updates when possible. Madeline's story has touched the hearts of many. Rest assured, our department is diligently working on the investigation. And while we appreciate the public's interest, we must prioritize the integrity of the investigation. We appreciate your support and understanding as we gather the facts. We intend to release additional information in the future, providing more details that we do not compromise the ongoing investigation. We vow to do everything in our power to ensure Madeline's memory is honored with justice. Our detectives are dedicated to pursuing every lead, uncovering every fact, and holding those responsible accountable. Now I will open it up for any questions.
Steve, I have a question. We know that you're working behind the scenes during this investigation to make sure everything is in order, but what can you tell us new today that we don't already know?
I don't have anything new that you don't already know, other than our detectives are working tirelessly day in and day out to ensure, all the facts are uncovered in this investigation.
I really like this police chief. I just want to say that. And then I had a quick question for you because you live in Florida.
Yes.
So when it's a minor, like I'm thinking about like Tristan Bailey or, where there's a minor that was murdered, how much information will they give out of because I know the laws are pretty strict in Florida when it comes to minors. So,
well, I mean, they'll give the cause and manner of death, and that's about the extent of it. Anything else that's going to come out is probably going to come out at a trial. So we'll find out, that the manner, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't a self-harm. It's gonna be homicide, right? And then we'll find out the cause. And that's kind of it. I
Okay.
think I think what she really wanted to do was to address the public and be like, bruh, we're working on it. We're not keeping anything from you because we're hiding things, but we're not gonna your need to know does not is not greater than our need to be able to prosecute this monster.
Right.
So we're not going to, just because you ask, and no matter how many times you ask and how many different ways you ask and how frustrated you are, you're not going to get us to budge on this. This is the beginning of, this is a marathon. We've got these charges on him, but if there are more coming, right, for him and potentially others, I don't know, so that's what she's trying to say. Like, just, bruh, chill out. We're getting it. We want you to know that we're not hiding anything. We're not keeping anything from you. We're just taking our time because this is important in getting justice for Madeline. That's what she's saying.
Yep, I agree. Nanine, thank you for gifting those memberships. Thank you so much, and welcome to you guys who got it. Thank you. Mr. Tomato Head, I don't know this other lady on your panel, but she seems even keeled and rational. I like that. Mr. Tomato Head has been here coming here for a long time. I love that account. We don't always agree, but they always make me think, and they are very not jumping to conclusions. Very, like, even with Dawn and Candace, always very vocal about not blaming the parents, and just I just always appreciate their opinions. So you have to check out Jen's channel. She has a channel. It's in the description. The Ward Case Studies. You would like it, but she is very rational for sure.
Thank you, Mr. Tomato Head. Yes, I can be even killed and rational, but then I can also be extra. But usually when I'm talking about stuff like this, I try to be even keeled and rational because I think it's important, to just.
I agree. Hey, David, I wonder if they're in the process of taking apart a ring of crimes against kids. Well, I think Jen had a great point. No distribution charges. That right there says a lot to me. I wondered because, they say that these kind of guys run in groups, or they'll be, working together sometimes. I don't know if that's the case. I would think we would see that.
It might be that what's happening is, because I had considered this too. He is one of those, when it started to come out, the level of participation, and that's just putting it, I don't know another way to say it, but his it's not that he was on Reddit, right? A lot of people are on Reddit. That in and of itself is not, suspect or anything like that. There's nothing innately, dark about that, but it is the forums on Reddit that he participated in. The fact that he was on Reddit giving advice to teenagers, that is those years between, 13, and it's not even just 18. Most people just say 18 because then they're adults. But let's be honest. You guys know 18-year-olds, they're not adults. I mean, legally they are, but their brain doesn't think the same. You don't think the same at 18 as you do at 21, and then at 25 or 30 or anything like that. So, but anyway, I think that it's quite possible. And that might also be what's taking so long. They charged him with the things that they felt comfortable that they could prosecute immediately, and get a prosecution on. And then, they are taking their time, and that might be what's taking so long.
Right.
As far as other charges coming.
Well, I think you're right, because look how quick that trial is approaching. They're doing like the fast track trial. I guess he didn't. I don't know if that, I know that we have rights as far as that goes, but I don't know the details, especially from state to state. But with the trial coming in May.
Well, it's okay. So this is what I think has happened. There always is, like, if you really want to take a gander at how many times a trial is continued, go and this is a perfect example because it is in Florida. So the laws are, the same, and the criminal procedures are the same. Go look at Sarah Boone's court docket. Just Google Orange County Clerk of Courts, put Sarah Boone's name in there, and it will show you. And it will show you how many times she has had a tentative trial date, only for it to get continued and continued and continued. Like we're on the, I think, the 11 billionth continuance for her. So, now I'm gonna have, because this part I did kind of miss out on. I don't know if he's waived his right to a speedy trial or not, but those are tentative charges. It's probably going to be a little longer than that, I would think, unless he does not waive his right to a speedy trial. And then at the end of the day, they have X amount of days between charging and trial. That's just how it goes.
Yep.
That's just your right. That's just your right.
Okay, now before we keep playing, because I do want to press play, but I have to ask you.
Okay.
We are very quickly approaching freaking Chad Daybell's trial, and I am.
I know.
I am so excited, and I know that we've already heard. It's not about. I just want Kay and Larry and the family to get justice. I am so excited for him to be held accountable. I know that we already know the details. We're probably not going to learn a ton of new stuff. We will get to watch though, so that will be different. But I cannot wait. I've been waiting on that man to have his day in court since, what was it, June the 6th of 2020 or June 3rd? I don't know. It's been years.
Since 7 years ago, yes.
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
And of course, that Allie and I will cover Chad and just like we did with Lori together, the gruesome twosome, because I cannot even think of anybody else I'd rather cover it with. But I actually think that we might learn some new things. And here is what I think we will learn that's new. Okay. First of all, we're going to be able to hear what Chad's defense is going to be, right? And there are certain questions that I think the state was not allowed to ask a lot of these witnesses because the trial was severed. And so the questions they were asking mainly pertain to Lori. I think that there are questions that are going to revolve around Chad that they weren't able to really go into at Lori's trial, but they're going to go in now. And of course, I don't know. I feel that Chad is 100% guilty. Okay. But he hasn't had his day in court. But what I'm really looking forward to is when his attorney goes in on old Melanie Shebangs. That's right.
I know. Me too.
Yeah.
We know it's happening. It's a coming.
It's a coming because he has been itching to come for Melanie. And the fact of the matter is, in my opinion, I do feel like Melanie Gibb she has some things she needs to answer for. I don't know, and we'll never know because of the choices that Melanie made. We don't know if JJ and Tylee could have been saved if Melanie had told the truth from the start. What I can tell you for certain is that by her lying, even though later she changed her tune, at the end of the day, the lie is what gave Lori and Chad a head start, period.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, sweet Melanie. Oh my God. I think he's going to turn on her. I've been, Jen, that's been my stance for a long time, just because prior he has this, I think he's going to try to, I don't know. I think that he's going to blame Lori and Chad's going to be the victim in his version of the story, who was fooled, or, you know what I mean? Who was or whatever.
I think we should, right before the trial starts, just as a little bit of levity, and I think we need it, is I think we should go ahead and play some of that pretrial hearing with Melanie Gibb, but more importantly, let's play that recorded phone call that Melanie recorded when she calls Lori carnal, like she's, like biblically reading her for filth instead of just calling her what she wants to. You're very carnal, Lori. When you really what she wants to be is you're a whore, so.
Yeah, and then calls JJ a drug baby, talks shit. I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, we
All
definitely
that.
need to do that. Okay, we'll
All
get
of
back
that.
to the press conference.
Okay. Yeah. No more side quests. Come on, Jen. Get it together.
Well, it was my fault, but I couldn't wait to hear your thoughts because I'm just so looking forward to that. I can't wait to see that man pay for what he's done. I can't wait to see if his kids come. Like yeah. But before we keep listening, I was gonna ask, can let me see which motto. I'm just gonna ask the first one that I see in the thing. Okay, Neat Noodle, will you do me a huge favor and click on the chatter that's in the chat named Veli Ray and get his link and drop it in the chat because he has a really great channel. I think that you guys would enjoy too. Ask me or Lynn. Actually, Lynn can do either one of you guys, but just pretty please, and then we'll keep listening. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I love Jin Lu's side quest. Me too. Okay.
Chief Holland, is the mother a suspect or a person of interest in this investigation? And also with the videos that you uncovered, is there any evidence of the mother's involvement on any of these videos?
So everyone that was close to Madeline is considered suspect until we have proven otherwise.
Chief, how close are we able to know what actually happened to Madeline Soto?
Well, this is a very sensitive and, it's very intricate. We want to.
Thing is in order, but what can you tell us new today that we don't already know?
I don't have anything new that you don't already know, other than our detectives are working tirelessly day in and day out to ensure, all the facts are uncovered in this investigation.
Chief Holland, is the mother a suspect or a person of interest in this investigation? And also with the videos that you uncovered, is there any evidence of the mother's involvement on any of these videos?
So everyone that was close to Madeline is considered suspect until we have proven otherwise.
Chief, how close are we able to know what actually happened to Madeline Soto?
Well, this is a very sensitive and, it's very intricate. We want to make sure that we uncover every single fact and all the evidence before, we don't want to put a timeline on it, basically, because the detectives are very meticulous in what they do. And we want to be sure that everything is uncovered that possibly can.
Chief, can you release any information about the manner in which Maddie died at this point?
No, ma'am, we are still waiting on the medical examiner's report.
Chief, do you believe Maddie was killed inside of the family's home or somewhere else?
We're still uncovering all of those details. I'm not going to speculate on that until we have the facts.
Chief, can you tell us if Stephan Stearns acted alone in all of this?
We're still uncovering all the evidence. I don't want to speculate whether he was or not. We will wait until the investigation, is completed to make that determination.
Has Stephan Stearns said he acted alone, or what has he said in interviews with you? Since we know he's in jail.
Yes.
What has he told you about other people's involvement, if any?
He has invoked his right to a lawyer, so we have not spoke with him.
Is there any time that you can expect an update for us? The public is asking every single day, and we understand that you're working on the investigation, but we would like to hear from you.
I don't want to rush my detectives. I think it's paramount that they take their time. And, Mr. Stearns is not going anywhere. He's in jail and he's going to be there for a while. So my detectives, I want them to be, just look at every single detail and make sure. But I don't want to give a timeline at this point.
Chief, you mentioned you're working closely with the medical examiner. What does that relationship kind of look like, and what information are they able to release to you before that exam is complete?
So not really. I wouldn't say that they've released an information. We depend on the medical examiner's report for our report. So we're going to have to wait until they release that report.
Chief, do you believe there are any additional victims?
No, it appears that this all was isolated to the home.
So, okay, I'm just pausing for a second. I want to hear your thoughts on that. They said, do you believe, well, they asked multiple different times and ways, was anyone else involved? She doesn't know yet. They're doing their investigation, so she doesn't go into that. Then they ask, are there any more victims? She says, no, it was isolated to the home. So does that mean that none of those pictures, because many people had wondered, were any of those pictures any other children, or was it all Madeline? So to me, it sounds like this was not like involving other kids. Any thoughts, Bindi?
I think what they have at this point, as far as evidence goes, that's exactly what she's saying. She's saying that nothing that they found on that phone is, this seems to be, that material seems to be isolated to the home. It's just that it gives me pause only because he was so involved online that do I think that he had, what I think she's trying to carefully word, and I'm trying to do it too, is there's one, okay, looking at it is also, in my opinion, victimizing, but the law doesn't charge people the same for possession as and being actually in the actual material. Okay, if that, does that make sense? So what I think she's trying to, just because he is in possession of material with Madeline, right, that he's also in, I find it, I would think it's fair, it would be, I think that there's he might have been in possession of other material involving other children potentially, but that's not to say that there are technically other victims of his where he was a participant.
Okay.
Does
I
that
see
make
what you're
sense?
saying. Yes,
Okay.
you're saying it's possible that he was looking at other things, but as far as like
Correct.
physical contact.
Correct.
And then Danielle, he doesn't have pics of her as a baby. You know, I don't know about that, but this is the thing. The first charge was 2019, so she was only 8 years old. And we see that the charges change. They first go to a child under 12, and then they change after that. I think it was under 12. But yeah, at first they're for very little kids. And that just kind of seems to be, in my opinion, as Madeline ages. But which, you know what, it's really fucked up because she doesn't get to age anymore, you know, and
No,
that's
she
just
doesn't. Again, another child that a monster has robbed her family and everybody who knew her and loved her to see all of the things that she would have potentially become. And they have robbed the world of whatever she would have brought to the world. We don't, and that's what breaks my heart about these children. They rob the world of their potential.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. They really do. And, you know, I don't know. I'll keep playing, but I just have
okay,
to.
babe?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just, you know, it's tough. And then I
hard.
also, like, I don't want to, like, I get why people question Mom, but there's a side of me that's like, and especially as the way this ends and we listen and she keeps talking about, you know, talking to your kids, knowing what's going on. I cannot imagine finding out you are, you know, some women, they have not a lot of confidence and, you know, I could just see easily not truly knowing everything that was going on and being fooled and not having a lot of I don't know. There are different dynamics and we just
right.
don't.
We don't. Here's the thing. It is, I would urge everybody, I'm not saying don't side eye, but there is a difference between something ain't right, the milk ain't clean, and a straight out accusation. Okay.
Right.
And what I would urge and caution everybody is just wait. We don't know what she knew. We don't know what she knew. And we
Right.
don't know when she may or may not have known it yet. It will come out. It's going to come out because it's going to be part of the trial for sure. Probably not this initial trial, but for her death, for her murder, all of that's going to come out. And
Right.
so I would say, yeah, side eye. But the unfortunate truth is, and this is why the live that I have planned, I think is so important, is unfortunately, statistically speaking, children don't tell.
No.
And, you know, so I'm going to leave it like at that. I don't know what she knew, when she knew it, if she knew anything or when, you know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
would just say, hey, let's just pump the brakes a little, keep side eyeing her. But until something comes out concrete, just be careful. Just
Yeah.
be careful.
Totally agree. And I want to just acknowledge really quickly, Adrian says, my sister and I hid it from my mom for 25 years, lip locked. My mom didn't know. Rainbow mom, my mom didn't know either. And I am so sorry for all of you guys.
I am too. I'm sorry. You know,
Yeah.
statistically speaking, you know, although we hear about cases of a stranger abduction and then this being the end result, those
Yeah.
are actually statistically very, very rare. The statistics are much greater that it's going to be someone that is known and close to not only the child, but the family as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, so we are going to have this conversation, I promise, because I think it's something that needs to be talked about. And I think that, like I said, if we can get through this conversation and we resonate with just one person out there who takes the information, sees something that applies to their situation, and removes themselves and their children or child from that situation, and we save just one child I would be grateful for. You know, I just, it's scary and it's sad, you know. Hell, we don't know. We could have probably had a cure for cancer by now if these monsters would leave our children alone, because again, like I said, they rob the world of this child's potential.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right. Hey, Laura. All right. I'm just going to press play and then let it play the rest of it. I won't pause again. And I'm going to speed it up a little bit because Trenton just texted me. I was supposed to go get him at 6:30. Now I have to leave at 6:15. So that way we can play it and then chat
Okay.
before it
Okay.
ends.
Okie dokie.
I'm still trying to get a sense of things. Do you still feel like you have more questions than answers at this point?
I think our questions are being answered slowly but surely. You know, for the integrity of the investigation, we have to, you know, keep things close until such time as we hold those accountable for her death.
Do you feel like this is taking longer than it should because Stearns is not speaking?
No, I just think that, you know, sometimes these investigations are just very lengthy. We know that he is in jail and he is not going anywhere. So the detectives are just making sure they cross the T's and dot their I's. You know, they want to put together, you know, a foolproof investigation.
Chief, is the mother and the family members being cooperative and answering questions? Have they lawyered up? And also the father of Madeline, who is not a Florida resident, is he a part of this investigation or at least being asked questions?
We have interviewed, you know, all those family members that are close. Mother has cooperated. She did give us an interview. So there's, you know, no one is not cooperating other than Stearns.
We know that the crimes were committed in the home. We also have, you know, the date of birth of the person, but we have not confirmed that that is Madeline Soto. Would you be able to confirm that information for us?
Right. So all of the charges are with children under the age of 18, and, you know, they are protected. Their identity is protected under the law.
So it's gonna expect, it's been a couple of weeks, nobody's charged for the murders, Madeline, nobody knows exactly what happened to Madeline. We can expect in the couple days, someone's gonna face charge for the murder of Madeline Soto.
When the detectives put their case together, you know, like I said before, they want to ensure their investigation is tight. We're working, you know, hand in hand with the state attorney's office to ensure, you know, every piece of evidence is revealed and uncovered. So I can't put a timeline on when that might be.
And Chief, with his cell phone, there's just one thing to understand here. So he originally went to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. At least that's what we understand. He gave his cell phone to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office then found something on his phone which led to an arrest. In the arrest affidavit from Kissimmee PD, it says he offered his phone freely to Kissimmee PD. Can you kind of explain how that happened? Because I just have a tough time understanding how somebody who's been arrested for something on his phone freely gives a phone out again.
Well, I don't know the intricate details of, I do know that the Orange County Sheriff's Office and Kissimmee Police Department were working hand in hand, you know, during, you know, the actual disappearance investigation. So I don't want to speak on exactly how that happened, but it's not uncommon for us to ask someone if they want to, you know, give up their phone.
Chief, is there anything in particular that keeps you up at night regarding this case?
Well, a lot of things keep me up at night. You know, my takeaway from this is talk to your children, families, talk to your kids. Know that there are agencies out there, the abuse hotline, Help Now, you know, that people can report suspicion to. And I would encourage mothers and fathers to have those conversations with the kids and be aware.
Last question.
Have you guys investigated this family before?
Not for anything like this, no ma'am.
I'm sorry, can we just confirm how long that relationship was, the mother and the stepmother?
That is still being under investigation. We're trying to get the timeline for that.
Chief, I have one more question. This is a case that became really big out of nowhere for a lot of people, but what has the department learned through all of this so far?
Well, this was a very tragic event. I think that, like I said earlier, it's up to us, up to each family member to have those conversations with your kids and report any suspicion of abuse to your school resource officer, to an adult that's a trusted adult, to any police officer that's out there. So just report it and let the law enforcement community investigate. Okay? Thank you.
Police Chief Holland there in Kissimmee, Florida, giving us a little bit of an update, at least, on this Madeline Soto case that we have been following very closely.
Okay, so Patricia says, on March 17th, I did an egg run and delivered Easter eggs to kids in the hospital dressed as a leprechaun and told the kids they were from Gannon in American Heaven. Oh my God.
Oh, we have an American Heaven now. But I love that.
Oh my God. Okay, for me, I personally think there has to be change made.
Oh, yes.
Where these people who do this don't get out, and
Correct.
they don't, because
and stop letting them plead down.
Yes, I agree. Ever, because they're not going to change. There is no changing them. I feel like put them all together, lock them up, throw away the key, take their life. I don't really care. But I'm just so sick of seeing this happen. And I think not necessarily in this case, but a huge part of it is these guys have already done shit like that and they get out and they have the opportunity to do it again.
Right. And I think so my takeaway from this, as far as the mom goes, from what I took away from what the police chief is saying, is that, and it reminds me, remember the date that Gannon South went missing, and remember when Letitia was actually charged. There's like 3 months, 2.5, almost 3, because it was the 1st, and this happened at the end of January. So it was 6 weeks, something like that, in between. And I think that, remember, when the mom is, okay, he's not saying anything, right? But when the mom is in there and she's being interviewed, okay, they're listening to her, but everything that she says, they've got to go and check out. And that takes time. That's just for her. That's one person. Then I would imagine, and this makes sense to me, because they're going to interview those that were closest to Maddie. So they are going to talk and find out her little group of friends. And they're going to talk to those kids. And that takes time because of their ages. It has to be done, in a certain way. And there's just a lot of moving parts to an investigation like this to figure out, particularly if we're talking about what the other adult in the chat in the house may or may not have known, and when they may or may not have known it, right? So I want to remind everybody, there is a huge difference in law enforcement, at the law enforcement stage, between knowing and then getting to the trial phase, which is the proving. So the more I's you can dot, the more T's you can cross, the more people that you have, witnesses, all of those things to substantiate your claim, the better chance at conviction you have. And that's the part we're in now. We know she's been found. We know that she's no longer alive, and we know that what the things that went on that went on by that piece of shit monster, right? We're going on for a long time. One time is too long, right? But this is a lot. So it's going to take some time. Be patient.
I just can't imagine that, being a little girl and this happening to you over and over and over again, and being so scared to tell. And obviously there was a reason to be scared of this man. Look what he's done.
Right.
And I don't know. I know that one of her friends came forward and said that her stepdad was mean to her, that she said he was mean to her, but that's all I've really heard so far. But Riddler, thank you so much. He says your channel will always be dear to my heart. Keep up the good work. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up. Love you, your mods and members. We love you and thank you. And I hope you and mom are doing okay. Down in the Floridas too.
Mm-hmm. It's awful. It's awful what has happened to her. It's awful when this happens to any child. And we as a society, We have to do better. And
Oh,
I personally think that when you know better, you do better. And I think that that starts with having tough conversations as adults. And I know we're angry right now because we're tired of seeing this crap. We're tired of seeing this happen to our children over and over and over and over. And to find out that it's gone on for an extensive period of time makes it worse.
yeah.
And we're angry. But we have anger is not anger without a solution does no good. We have got to have these tough conversations, and we've got to try to figure out what it is that we can do to recognize warning signs, because like I said, statistically speaking, children don't talk, they don't tell.
Nope.
That's how it's allowed to go on. And
Yeah.
so we have to be able to look for the warning signs, not just in the child, but in the person that's doing it, because they give off red flags too.
And stop bringing men around your kids, ladies.
Correct.
Oh my
Correct. Correct. You got to be very, very careful there. And I would say, look, do a background check. Well, background check only gets you so far. If they've
Yep.
never been charged and convicted for something like this, how is a background check going to help? That's why I think learning and understanding the process that happens, because it's a process that occurs simultaneously between the child and the perpetrator and the other adult in the home,
Yeah.
the other parent. And if we can learn about those things and see, talk about it and watch for those red flags, then I think we can make a difference. That's all that I can feel like I can do. I just hope I can do it. Do you know what I mean?
You can do it, and I look forward to that. I can't wait. I will be there. I'll be sharing it. I hope to see you guys there. And then before we go, let me just show you. I had a couple photos that my niece had a couple photos that I had saved. No, wrong way. Oh God, that one just drives me crazy. But look at that beautiful baby. I mean,
Aww.
I know. And then this one, this was just the night before. This was just at her birthday party at her grandma's house. There are people on Twitter who have kind of put out the Google Maps of it and the area and everything. But you just see her running with this like ribbon, and I don't know. It's just,
She's just being a kid. It just has at that minute, in that moment, she had everything, her whole life in front of her. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's in middle school now, and then she's going to go to high school and all of those things. It just breaks my heart.
yeah, me
It breaks
too.
my heart.
Awful.
And believe me, you guys don't think I don't want, like I'm angry about it, but I think I'd like to turn that angry energy into, hopefully that's my hope, my goal, into something that makes a difference, even if it just is a small difference. Just that's all it takes, is one thing, to make a change. I sound like Michael Jackson out here talking about man in the mirror.
I'm looking in the mirror. Jen, I love you. Always good song references in movies. Well, I guess I better go because my youngin needs picked up from baseball game. But thank you so much for coming on to talk about this with me. And thank you so much for planning this live that you're doing, because it's really important. I think a lot of us don't even, like, when you think about it, you kind of don't even know exactly how to talk to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's going to be really great. But yeah.
Can you just highlight MK's comment really quickly, because that is so profound, and it's go up a couple.
There are good men out there that would never in a million years do anything and would love a stepchild as their own, but it takes time to find that out and let a strange person in. You're exactly right.
You're exactly right, MK. This isn't about, listen, I think the truth of the matter is, I think that there are far more good people in this world than there are bad people, but the good people don't get enough attention and the bad people get all of the attention. But it does take time. It takes time to learn who somebody is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, look, I've been with my husband next year will be 30 years. This April will be 29 years. And that fool can still surprise me. Thankfully, luckily, in good ways. Okay. But, but it does take time. It does take time. It takes time.
Yeah.
And your
Absolutely.
children are the most precious gift that you have in this world.
Yep.
You have
I
all
agree.
the time in the world to get to boo up. I know it sucks being alone. I know it sucks going to bed alone. Yeah, it would be nice to cuddle up, but you do it when you don't have the kids. Don't bring them to your
Yeah.
home. Go,
Cuddle your kid.
cuddle your kid. We got the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Go have a, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. No biggie.
And
There's
then
nothing wrong with that.
Veli Ray, thank you for coming by. And no, Adrian, you didn't miss anything. Thank you to my mods. You guys have been so amazing. Thank you for your help and dropping all the links. And Lynn, I was so happy to see you. And just all you guys, I'm happy to see you. And Bendy, I can't wait for your next stream. And I guess I'm going to wrap it up. And yeah, I'll see you soon. I have a case I want to talk about. So you guys, you might, if I do another live, like if I was able to, or post a video tonight, you won't be notified. So just keep your eyes open for that.
You'll be notified, because if she does it, I'll share it and then you'll get my notification. So there you go.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
Don't be messing with us, the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And you're right, MK. It is moms and dads. I cannot stress that enough. And it's all of our children. We have to protect our girls just as much as we protect, and we have to protect our boys just as much as we protect our girls. All of our children need to be protected. They are our future, as Whitney Houston said.
Absolutely. All right, Bendy. Thank you so much for everything. And I love you. And I hope you have a good night. And also, I forgot to say, Jordan, thank you. I can't believe you've been a member 26 months. And then, yeah, I'll see you guys soon. And Bendy, I'll be looking for that documentary and anything else you do. I think I love you. And, I think you're just brilliant.
Oh, I love you. And I think you're just brilliant. And we're going to get around the YouTube loophole of no notifications.
All right, you guys, I'm going to go. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.